very clear tropes to it that you don't know how. Good morning, how are we all doing? It is currently a Tuesday morning. This is a little bit of a weekly vlog. I have got some stuff to haul for you this morning. I've got some books and I've also got some stuff that I've been sent through from a brand and I haven't opened it yet because it's packaged really nicely and I want to show you the packaging before I open it up. So I'm excited to be able to show you that so I can open it and see what's in the packaging. I do know what I've been sent, but to be able to see it in person. So I've got some books that I think I'll haul first. I went to Bath at the weekend and I of course went into Mr. B's and picked up some books. Now I did have about 10 minutes, if not less than that, to be able to browse in Mr. B's. I think it was less than that because our parking was going to expire. So I did some rapid shopping and I'm quite pleased with what I came out with, but also I've accidentally bought a duplicate book. I bought The House at Phantom Park by Graham Masterton, which I must have liked the sound of so much that I also bought it last year in hardback. I just didn't realise the cover, I mean it's not similar, but the colour scheme is very different. The hardback does have a slight different vibe to it, so I didn't recognise it. So now I have two copies of this, but I am actually currently reading this, so I'll talk to you about this in a minute. But this is the first book I picked up. This is a horror set in an abandoned military hospital, following a team of people who are there to renovate it into a leisure centre and apartments. There are some hauntings and creepy things going on within this abandoned building that is kind of pausing the work that's going on and causing some issues and some rather extreme issues really as well. It's so far interesting. We'll talk about it in a minute. We'll do the haul first. I also picked up Hell House by Richard Matheson. This one I mainly picked up because Stephen King says it's the scariest haunted house novel ever written. So you know, I'm looking for a book that's going to scare me. When you hear a recommendation like that from Stephen King, you kind of have to pick the book up. Honestly, can't actually remember what it's about, but it's a haunted house story. So it's set in a house that has stood empty for 20 years. Its shadow walls have witnessed the scenes of almost unimaginable horror and depravity. Two previous expeditions to investigate its secrets met with disaster, the participants destroyed by murder, suicide, or insanity. So of course there's a new investigation with 4 strangers going to the Forbidden Mansion who are determined to probe Belasco House for the ultimate secrets of life and death. So naturally there's going to be some spooky stuff happening here and I'm excited about it. The cover, yeah, it gives pretty good spooky vibes. I want to be scared. I'm looking forward to this one. I would really like to try and get to this one this month. There are so many books. There's so many books I want to read this month. Now I also have some book post that I haven't opened yet, which I think might be the Fragile Threads of Power. So we're going to find out together. I haven't sung the bookmail song in so long. Bookmail books came in the mail, hey! Now the reason I think this is the Fragile Threads of Power, but I'm not sure, is because I received a dispatch notification email yesterday from WATERSTONES. This has been quite delayed. I think there was a delay at the printers or the publishers, so I'm not sure if that's what this is or not, because I only received that email yesterday, but I think maybe the email was just late because I don't know what else this could be, and I think it's the right size. So we're gonna have a look. I'm very excited about this, but this is not gonna be a book I'm gonna be reading in October. I just don't think I can physically switch it in, so this might be a November, December time read for me. It is. Oh my God, okay. Oh, this is really pretty. Okay, that was worth the wait. This is beautiful. This is The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. This is it a new series? Is it an extension of the current series? It's set within the same world as the Darker Shade of Magic series, and it's following on from the events of that book years later, I think. It's 7 years after the last book. I don't want to tell you like the ins and outs of the blurb because I don't want to ruin that series for you, but this is following a new character as well as, I assume, the characters that we already know and love. I am excited for this. I'm gonna be honest, I think I might need a refresher for the previous series because it's been a very long time since I read A Darker Shade of Magic, and I have blobs of it in my head, but I can't remember every detail, which makes me wonder if I should do a reread before I read this, but then that means it's going to be even longer before I can read this, and just to have another Schwab book in my hands is so exciting, especially one with these sprayed edges, stenciled edges. They're so beautiful. Is there anything under the dust jacket? Look at the end pages. It's just, I mean, come on. Books are just so beautiful right now. I mean, books are always beautiful, but just they're top of their game. It's signed. This was worth the wait. I'm so excited about this. I need to work out the best way to approach this because I want to really embrace it. I love this series when I first read it, which genuinely was probably about, oh, I don't even know, when did the last one come out? I'm gonna Google that. Okay, Conjuring of Light came out in 2017, I think. So it's been a hot minute since I read this series because I think I would have read that on its release. I need a refresher, but this is beautiful. That's it for books to haul, but I want to show you the stuff I've been sent through from Fable now because I can finally open it. Look at this packaging. Like, look at this. Isn't that just beautiful? The care and the effort that has gone into that, and just generally the design, everything, the vibes are immaculate. I also got a bag from Fable, so I'm going to show you that first because that I have opened up because it wasn't obviously packaged in this way. So I got this tan messenger handbag, which is just beautiful. This is honestly bigger than I expected, but that does actually mean it can fit a book inside it. So this is the bag. It's got a little bee on it. Look at it. It's so cute. Hang on, I'll show you the inside as well. Look how much space there is. I don't think it's going to fit Fragile Threads of Power, but I definitely think, hang on, I definitely think I can get a paperback or two in there. Definitely get two in there. I think I could possibly get a third paperback in there, but there you go, it fits books. The priority of any bag. There's a little tag on the bag that says, true to the origins of Fable and partial to a story, each collection represents a new tale interpreted by hand-painted collectible charms and narrative prints, inspired by classic British literature, designed and crafted with an infinite love of nature. So this is all part of Fable's new Celestial collection, which is just beautiful. So this is the bag. Let's have a look at the jewellery. I will leave links for any of this down below, by the way, if you want to check it out. So first up, we have got the little mushroom earrings. These are little huggy hoop earrings. I feel bad ruining the packaging. I mean, the whole thing is just beautiful inside and out. Look, they're even in a little bag. I'm just realizing it says mushroom necklace there instead. I thought it was going to be mushroom earrings, but it's actually a little mushroom necklace, which is really cute. Look at that. Here's the necklace. It's so cute. Okay, so that does mean I have two necklaces to show you, I think, because the other one is a Cancer Zodiac necklace. So let's have a look at that one as well. More beautiful packaging. Okay, this is the one that I was super, super excited about. I am a Cancer star sign, and this is a beautiful necklace with a little crab on it. I'm just looking at the info on the website for this, and it says all 12 zodiac charms have been inspired by nature, crafted with our traditional style of hand-painted enamel with finely engraved celestial symbols set in a Victorian gold-plated pendant. It's so beautiful. I want to try this one on. I mean, come on. It's so pretty. Let's put it on. I've probably not got the best top on to demonstrate this right now, but it's so pretty. I love it. Thank you so much, Fable, for sending me through these items. And as I said, I'm going to leave them all linked down below if you want to have a little browse. But we've got the bag, we've got the little mushroom necklace, and we've got the little Cancer crab necklace as well. I love them. Thank you so much, Fable. I said I was going to give you quick thoughts on this book. I am enjoying it. And I like the spooky aspect, and I think having it set in this hospital is a really interesting way to bring in that horror. What I am not liking about this is two different things. One, hang on, actually, before we go into the things, I'm just gonna, I looked at the back of the book to see the author information. The blurb at the back of the book tells us that this author's first novel became a bestseller and was made into a film starring Tony Curtis. In 2019, the author was given a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Horror Writers Association, and they've also got a series starring Katie Maguire as the main character of some crime thrillers, which have sold more than 1.5 million copies worldwide. So what I'm getting from this is somebody that's written a lot of horror. They clearly know the genre. They have a massive series with a woman as a main character. So reading this, I wouldn't have known those things, and that is why I went to find that about the author info at the back of the book. The writing style in this, the dialogue, just is not the one. It's very simply written, the dialogue. It feels very back and forth, kind of like the thing you would write at school. He said, she said, without really much of a conversational flow about it. There's that, and then there's also the blatant male gaze that this book is looking through. Now, when it comes to horror, classic older horror films, and probably quite a lot of new horror films, are still viewing through the male gaze, and that is a real centric part of horror films. There's a reason that this genre has become so iconic and so stereotypical with its tropes, and that is part of it. This book could well be tapping into that. It could be giving us a deliberate look through the male gaze to demonstrate how that is a feature of the genre. Or it's just bloody frustrating. Now, right, there's a paragraph in the second chapter that is talking about our main character and her views on her weight. So I'm going to read that paragraph out. Lillian climbed out of the car and straightened her skirt. She had put on 3 or 4 pounds this week, and the waistband was slightly too tight for her. She had sworn that she would stop eating bread, but she had been late home every night, and instead of soup or salad, she ended up making herself sandwiches. She wished that she had put on her Spanx. Now, I think because a man has written that, I am mad at that as a paragraph. If a woman had written it, I think I might have read it slightly differently, and I might have taken it on board slightly differently, but it kind of comes across, because it's mentioned multiple times as well from this character, it kind of comes across like she's got her job and then the only other thing about her is her thinking about her weight. And I'm just wondering if the author of this book just thinks that's all women think about. So it just kind of comes across not great. It doesn't come across great, but it has changed a little bit as the book's gone on, but then we've introduced another woman into the story, and the way that the men treat her is just incredibly frustrating, but again, could be done to highlight it, could be done because, not great. Hang on, I've written down the examples of that as well. I think the difference there is that if something like that is said and then it's critiqued within the book by another character, or like it's critiqued by the author, I think then it's purposeful and it's done to make a point. If it's just said and it's not relevant to the plot and nobody says anything about it, I think that's when it's like kind of raising some red flags for me. Someone new comes to site, so the whole element of this is being set on site because they're renovating this old hospital. And the person that comes to site is a woman. The woman running the site then says that she was a little irritated that Dennis Billings hadn't told her their replacement surveyor would be female. And then it just doesn't go into why that would be an issue. And I'm just like, why? Why did you need to be told that? And why would that be a problem? And then subsequently, off the back of that, the man that is also working on the site says, not exactly a bundle of laughs is she, nice figure though, I wouldn't say no to giving her a bit of a survey. And it's like, it's just sleazy, but it's not sleazy for a purpose. At no other point has this character said anything like that. It doesn't really seem to add anything or take anything away. It's just there, and our main character doesn't really defend it or say anything like, don't say that. Therefore, I'm like, why is that in there? Like, is it just in there to make him look sleazy? Because at no other point is he made to look sleazy. It just gives me the ick. It gives me the ick. So that is kind of irritating me slightly about this book, but at the same time, as a horror, I'm enjoying it, so I'm going to keep going with it. My camera is about to overheat, which is great. I love it when it does that, so I'm going to crack on with my day, and I will catch up with you later. It is mere minutes before Bake Off starts, and I've got myself a baked good. This is a fully loaded miso, white chocolate, and fudge cookie from Sainsbury's. I'm going to heat it up for a couple of seconds in the microwave, and I'm very excited.
To the great British Bake Off.
Did you enjoy that?
I really loved it.
Good morning. It is currently Wednesday morning and I am just prepping at the moment to film cover to cover episode 9. I'm heading off today. I do this every month. It is a series where I'm going to a different independent bookshop every single month to search for the best independent bookshop. I love doing this series so much. I work with National Book Tokens as a sponsor for this series. It's just so fun. So today I'm filming episode 9. There's 10 episodes this year, so this is nearly the end, but I'm just prepping at the moment, so I just thought I'd give you like a little behind the scenes look at what a day like this is like for me. I don't work my day job today. I'm part-time, so I don't work on Wednesdays, so these are the perfect days for me to go to film these videos because it is quieter during the week generally, unless it's the school holidays, which it isn't. But generally I will have a little plan for what I want to achieve for the day, the things that I want to say, the talking points, the shots that I want to get, and just generally anything else that I need to mention. I always call the bookshop in advance by like a week or two once I know when it is I want to go and which bookshop I want to go to. I ring them just to check if it's okay that I film there, and usually they, in fact always, they have said yes. I haven't had anyone said no yet, so that's a good thing. But I generally have planned out every bookshop that I want to go to way in advance, but this month I actually changed this one last minute because I just found out about this bookshop. It's not too far from me because generally I try and keep these within like an hour to an hour and a half drive of me unless I'm going somewhere specific, but this one is just so perfect for this month. I'm not going to tell you what it's called because I don't want to spoil the video because I think this is out first, but when you see the name of it, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I've got a little plan on Notion in front of me right now where I have any key talking points for the introduction for the video where I tell you about the bookshop itself, and then my key talking points to say about National Book Tokens as well. Then I will head off once I film that introduction. I usually film introductions about 2 or 3 times for 2 reasons. 1, I like to have the choice, and 2, I am really bad at like kind of, not that it's scripted, but like semi-scripted things. When there's things I have to say, I'm horrendous at remembering short-term stuff. I'm really good at long-term memories, but short-term not so much. So I tend to cock it up quite a bit, which is why I tend to film multiple times, but also just to give me the choice of different clips to pick from. But then I will head to the bookshop. I'm normally at the bookshop for around an hour and a half, roughly, depending on the size of the bookshop, but I'm getting all the different shots. I'm chatting to the booksellers. I buy books there as well, and I especially buy one book recommended, or at least one book recommended from a bookseller. That is in the book I read in the video. So today is the actual filming part. I will do the introduction shortly. We'll then go and I'll show you some behind the scenes bits if I can. I don't know really what that's going to look like. And then when I get back, I do a little debrief of the bookshop, and then I go ahead and read the book that I bought there. It's interesting talking about like reading the book because I have no idea what kind of book I'm going to end up with, so it's always a fun experience because I never know what direction the video is going to take. So that's a little insight into the prep for this. I'm going to head off pretty shortly. I am currently listening, I don't think I've said yet, to The Shining by Stephen King. I have about 2.5–3 hours left in the audiobook, so I think I'm going to hopefully be able to finish this like today/tomorrow maybe. I need to do a couple of bits around the flat later, and I love having an audiobook in when I'm doing any kind of cleaning or tidying, so I'm hoping that I can finish that within the next few days and give you a little rundown of my thoughts on that. I'm enjoying it quite a lot. I'm enjoying it more than I enjoyed the film, so I'm really pleased that I picked that up. That was definitely one I wanted to get to this spooky season, and I can tick that off my TBR, and it's been a good one. So I'll talk to you about that properly later, but for now I'm gonna just try and memorize as much as the information I'm looking at on my screen as possible and film this introduction probably about 5 times, and then I'm gonna head to this bookshop. I am gonna bring my current read with me. I do tend to read whatever book I buy at the bookshop today if I'm going to stop in a cafe or anything, but just so I've got the option, I'm going to bring this as well. I'm going to pop it in my trusty Paper and Word book sleeve. How beautiful is this sleeve? I do work for Paper and Word. I am biased, but I love them. They're great. Please check them out if you haven't already. My bag is very minimally packed. I literally have my book, spare camera batteries, and my Bookshop gift card to spend in the bookshop, and that is pretty much it. And my camera, which I'm currently filming on. Oh, I've got a GoPro in there as well to try and get some behind the scenes bits for you guys. So let's go. This is the semi-autumnal outfit for the day. The weather is all over the place at the moment. It can't make up its mind what it's doing, so the look. I am back from the bookshop. I was gonna maybe sit and read when I got back, but I have since remembered that I need to tidy up a couple of bits and just sort some stuff out in my flat whilst I have still got time to do that. So I got my headphones on. I got The Shining. I've got an hour and 14 minutes left. Let's finish this book and sort out some stuff around my flat. Okay, I finished The Shining. I have thoughts. They're positive thoughts. I ended up really enjoying this one. I was dubious because I knew the plot already, having watched the film, but it had been so long since I'd watched the film that I thought I might have forgotten the small details, and I had forgotten the small details, and also the film and the book definitely had their separate paths. I actually much preferred the book. I think the characters in the book felt a lot more likable than in the film. In the film, you instantly kind of villainize certain attributes of them, whereas in the book there's a lot more to sympathize with, and you see the deterioration of the family who have moved to this hotel in this isolated setting. If you don't know what it's about, that is essentially what it's about. This family moved to the hotel over the winter to maintain it. The dad in the family has got the job there, and his wife and his son go with him, and he starts to fall prey to cabin fever at the same time that his son is experiencing what is called the shining, which is visions that he can see of these kind of premonitions of things that are going to happen, and also of kind of ghostly presences at times. So you've got this really isolated setting. It's set in the winter. There's snow. They get snowed in. It's intense. It's dark. It's got a lot of tension about it. I think because I knew the direction the tension was going, I didn't necessarily feel tense listening to it. That could have also been the fact that I was listening to the final half an hour of it whilst playing Farm, which is a very nice, relaxing, wholesome game. But I did say this when I started reading it, that I wondered if listening to it as an audiobook was going to change how scared I would feel when reading it, because being able to listen to it kind of changes the atmosphere, because I'm always going to be able to be doing something different visually than just looking at the page. Whereas I suppose if I was reading it, I would be a lot more like zoned in to it, because I'd be physically looking at it, if that makes sense. Basically, I thought my brain would be more likely to be distracted by whatever I was physically doing at the same time as listening to an audiobook to not feel the fear. I find I zone in more when I'm busy when listening to audiobooks, so it's not that I don't listen, it's just that obviously I'm hoovering or cleaning or driving, and it's not really the atmosphere that I'm going to feel the fear in, as opposed to sitting under the covers reading it with a torch and the lights off. Not that I'd have done that anyway, but you know, I thought it was good. It didn't scare me. I got told it was King's scariest. Didn't find it too scary, but I think I would put it up there with one of my favourite Kings that I've read so far. I will say you can definitely see its age. It was published in the late 70s, and I think that definitely comes across in the writing. Just be aware if you are ever going to pick it up, it is an older book. It does have some outdated things in it now that you certainly wouldn't see, hopefully, in it if it was written today. King's writing style is very distinctive and kind of has a little bit of an Edgar Allan Poe approach to it, in the way that it's just very much, it is what it is. It says what it is on the tin, and you don't get too much of a fluff of descriptions. It's very much built on the tension and the characters and the plot than it is the description. But I quite like that style of writing. I'm going to listen to another audiobook. I don't know whether I'll start it today or not, but I was looking at what is included with Audible's subscription that you can get for free, and there is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde and The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. Now, The Woman in Black is on my TBR for this month, and I would really like to get to that one. It's also pretty short, as is The Picture of Dorian Gray, in all fairness. So I'd like to read either of those, and they are included within my Audible membership, so I think I'll probably go for The Woman in Black next. I haven't really read much more of my physical read, but tonight I have got a very fun dinner of some pizza and some garlic bread, and I've got garlic butter dip, and I'm excited. So I'm gonna eat that and probably watch a horror film. Kind of tempted to watch The Shining because it's been so long since I watched it, but also want to watch something new because I can still visually see The Shining in my head. I don't know whether I need a refresher, given that I did literally just read the book, but I'm excited. It's going to be a cozy night. I have to kind of tell myself it's okay to have nights off like this sometimes, because I did intend to do a little bit more work when I got back today, but I did do a little bit of editing, and then I just thought, you know what, I'm going to sort the flat out, make sure it's all ready for tomorrow so my brain feels clear tomorrow, because that is definitely a guaranteed way for me to wake up feeling a lot clearer minded and a lot less about the day ahead when my environment around me is clean and tidy. So I thought I'd do that and then sit and played some Fable, and I've still got it on the TV at the moment, so I'll probably play a little bit more of that whilst I'm waiting for my oven to heat up and my dinner to cook. But I'm having a good day. It's been a really nice day, and I hope you're enjoying this vlog because I'm really enjoying filming it. So I'm gonna start a new audiobook whilst I wait for my dinner and play some Fae Farm, and then hopefully later, after I've watched some form of scary film, watch me not watch a scary film at all. Maybe I'll watch a bit of American Horror Story. I have a new season of that I haven't watched yet. That might be a plan. It's also just starting to rain. It's all the cozy vibes. Okay, I'm gonna go do things. This book feels so ridiculous. I have about 100 pages left to go. I am semi-enjoying the horror element, but it just feels so silly. The main character just will not accept that there might be a haunting happening here. I mean, there is a haunting happening here. She just won't accept it. And she just, every possible thing that she can come up with an excuse other than to be like, maybe it's a haunting. And I get it. Like, if you're faced with that, you probably would be like, really? No. But every single thing that's happening, she just dismisses it all, literally everything, to the point where it's just like, what? Some of the responses that she comes out with, it just doesn't make sense to me. There was a good, like, 2 pages of absolute hilarity in this book as well. Something happens to one of the characters, and I think it was meant to be, like, really horrific, but it was just funny. The way it was written, and now I don't know if I am a little bit twisted if I found it funny, but I did. So I think I'm going to try and finish this today / maybe tomorrow morning, because I woke up early today, earlier than I expected to, and just sat and read for a bit. I didn't intend to wake up that early, but I just did. So I sat and read for a bit in the morning, so I might do that again, but deliberately tomorrow, and finish this, and then let you know my final thoughts. And then pick a new physical read. I'm just on my way to meet my friend to go to the pub this evening, and I thought it was a good idea to listen to an audiobook of a horror book on my walk down. Hello, it is Saturday morning. Last night I started a new book. I need to tell you about it. I also finished my other book. I need to tell you about that because it did not get much better, but I've started Uzumaki, which is heavy. I feel like I'm having a workout every time I read this because just holding it open is a challenge. I'm doing a public live show all day today at 11 for reading sprints. It is currently 9:25. I'm about to head to the bookshop right now before sprints start because apparently it is bookshop day today, which I only realised yesterday. So it'd be very rude not to go to the bookshop. The bookshop is literally like a 5-minute walk from my flat, which is incredibly dangerous. But I want to have a little look because yesterday my local bookshop posted up on their Instagram about a book that I've been seeing everywhere at the moment. It's this cozy contemporary kind of Gilmore Girls-esque book. I can't remember what the name is, but I can see the cover in my head and I just want to have a look at that because I've been literally seeing it all about the place and I don't normally go towards books like that, but I feel like for this time of year it just looks super cozy, so I'm kind of intrigued by it. So I want to have a look at that, come back and then sprint and read more of this very heavy book. Can I just say, I think I really respected the fact that it's World Bookshop Day today, or Bookshop Day. Is it World Bookshop Day? Look, I bought books in the bookshop. I'll show you what they are. First off, I got Murder in the Family by Cara Hunter. I have heard so many people reading and enjoying this at the moment. Every time I ask in Patreon live streams, what is everyone reading? Lots of people say Murder in the Family. It's a mixed media thriller crime story, which I think is just really interesting. The way that the story is told looks incredibly interactive. I'm gonna be honest, it pretty much sold me on that beyond what the actual plot was, but the plot: in October 2003, Luke Ryder was found dead in the garden of the family home in London, leaving behind a wealthy old widow and 3 stepchildren. Nobody saw anything. Now secrets will be revealed live on camera. Years later, a group of experts re-examine the evidence on Infamous, a true crime show with shocking results. Does the team know more than they've been letting on, or does the truth lie closer to home? Can you solve the case before they do? The truth will blow your mind. I feel like this is a reading vlog in itself, so I'm really excited about this one. And then I also picked up The Other Half. This is by somebody's name that's covered by a sticker, Charlotte Vassell. This one is the Waterstones something or other of the month, thriller of the month. I don't know, there was lots of this in Waterstones and I thought it sounded really good. The Night Before Rupert's 13th is a black tie dinner at the Kentish town McDonald's, catered with cocaine and Veuve Clicquot. The morning after, Rupert's girlfriend Clemmy is found murdered on Hampstead Heath. The difficulty: everyone at the party has alibis, naturally. So it's a McDonald's murder mystery. It sounds great. The last book I picked up, I'm really excited about this. Now, this is much more of a book collector type of purchase, but I have wanted this ever since it was released and I didn't get a copy at release. And I've been wanting it ever since, and I knew that I wasn't going to get one because it was a special edition that had sold out and I assumed they were never going to reprint, and somehow this was in my local Waterstones. This is The Earth Transformed, An Untold Story by Peter Frankopan. This is by the same author as The Silk Roads, which was the book of the month when I worked at Waterstones many years ago. But here's the twist. This book is the signed special edition, and I think this might be one of the most beautiful special editions I have ever seen and now owned, because look at those edges. They are absolutely gorgeous. These are the end pages. It is signed in a really cool way as well by the author. This is a non-fiction talking about the history that we rarely pay much attention to, so destructive floods, the worst winters, the most devastating droughts, or the ways the ecosystem has changed over time. It definitely sounds like a very hard-hitting non-fiction, and it is one that I will try and read bits of over time. I'm certainly not going to sit down and read it in one chunk because it is definitely going to be quite heavy, so I think it's one that I'll just read over the years probably, but I, as a book collector, have wanted to own this for a long time, and I'm very excited that I do. Also, I have reading updates and a little package to show you because Fable have sent me something else. So I think I mentioned that I thought the necklace I received was going to be hoop earrings. They have actually very kindly sent me through the hoop earrings as well, which is really sweet of them, and they absolutely didn't have to do that. I was very happy with the necklace, but look at these little hoop earrings. They're little huggy mushroom earrings and they match the necklace, and I'm thrilled. Thank you so much, Fable, and they will also be linked down below. I have reading updates as well. So I started listening to the Woman in Black audiobook yesterday, or the day before. At some point recently I started listening to that. It's actually a theatrical style recording, which is an interesting experience. I feel like that could make it more spooky and atmospheric. So I might try and do like a reading that with the lights off at some point and see how I get on with that. But I also finished this experience, The House at Phantom Park. This book frustrated me so much, and it didn't get any better, guys. It didn't get any better. I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. I felt really disappointed with this. The main character was just completely irritating the whole way through. The obliviousness to what was going on around them, regardless of like what the actual answer was in the end, like they just were so dismissive of so many things, and I found it incredibly frustrating. And there was the lack of inquiry as to what's happening here, and like they just kind of cracked on, and I feel like I wanted them to be a bit more inquisitive, which they did become towards the end, but it just felt really frustrating. I also did not enjoy the subtle mentions that were sexist in this book. There was quite a few different things that were just tiny little sentences scattered here and there that I really, really didn't appreciate, that just built up to make me more and more and more and more frustrated with this author's writing. So I didn't love it at all, and I will be unhauling it. If you would like to read this yourself, you can find it for cheaps on my Vinted, which I will try and remember to leave link down below. I think I'm going to unhaul the hardback as well. Did I say I bought 2 editions of this? I can't remember. I think I did. I have the hardback and the paperback of this because I didn't realise that I'd already bought the hardback because the cover was different. So I'm just going to get rid of both of them because I don't need this on my shelves anymore. The horror aspect I think was really clever. And I think it took a slightly different turn that I was enjoying. And I think that the horror aspect was the only thing that kept me going with it, because the characters, no. Just no, I didn't like any of them. No, that's a lie. I liked one of them. I liked one, maybe 2. 1 to 2 of the characters, but it didn't have it. It could have been really creepy, but there were times that were gruesome that I found funny rather than scary, and I think that probably removed me from the atmosphere there. So that was more of a me thing, to be honest, but generally not the one. I have now started Uzumaki. This is just massive, to be honest, isn't it? It's just huge. This is where I'm at. This is following a town where people have, it's kind of being like taken over by spirals, and people are becoming obsessed with these spirals, and it's kind of taking over their very being. And it's a manga horror, and it's so far been really disturbing, to be honest, which is exactly what I want. So I'm going to be reading this today. I think I might have to balance it on my giant squishy Pikachu to just hold it open, because honestly, I think I'm going to do myself a wrist injury. So this is what I'm going to be reading for sprints today. The sprints start in 22 minutes. So I'm going to get ready for that and pretty much just sit down and enjoy some horror. I imagine I'll get through this fairly quickly because I only read for about half an hour last night, and I'm up to page 89. Okay, more than I thought. So I feel like I'm going to get through it fairly fast. It's probably going to give me the weirds, but that's what I want. And then hopefully I can get maybe to another book this weekend. I don't know if that's too ambitious or not, but I really don't have any plans. I'm going to Alton Towers on Monday, which I'm really excited about because I've never been. It's not the closest at all, but my friend really wanted to go, and I was like, do you know what? Let's do it. So I'm doing that on Monday, but I pretty much just have the weekend to chill and read and to vlog the experience. So let's have a cozy weekend. Sprints start very soon, as I said. I really have no responsibilities today, and that is such a nice feeling. I've had such a hectic 2 weeks, and I'm just enjoying decompressing a little bit. It feels good. Just quickly, I realised I forgot to say, I can't even remember the name of the book once again, and I've actually held it in my hands now, but I did look at that pumpkin spice book, pumpkin spice cafe, pumpkin spice latte. It was by Laurie Gilmore, which is apparently a pen name, funnily enough, but I read the first 2 pages, and it definitely read easy and chill. It's not the kind of book I would normally reach for, and I didn't buy it, obviously, because I didn't haul it, but I was close to buying it, and I actually had it on top of my stack of books, and this guy came up to me and said, like, where did I get it from? And they only had 1 copy, and it was in the window. That's where I got it from. The booksellers grabbed it from the window for me, so I was like, oh, you can have my copy, I'm not going to buy it. And they were saying that they do this thing where they buy these books that they all want to read individually in this group of friends, and then they will just trade books around that group of friends, which I think is a really cool idea. So they were saying that they were going to do that to put into this group of friends trade pile. So I really liked that. But I didn't pick it up. Yeah, it wasn't going to be one for me. I don't think. I might pick it up in the future. Maybe it'll be a Kindle read, I'm not sure. But I resisted with just these 3 instead, which is still a fair amount of books. But it is World Bookshop Day, or Bookshop Day, whatever, Bookshop Day. I'm justifying it. The best line of the day goes to "You cost us the game, you glacial turd." I finished this beast of a book, and what a strange rollercoaster reading experience this was. This was incredibly unique, incredibly unsettling, very disturbing, and made me feel incredibly uncomfortable, but it was great. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Really interesting reading experience. The spirals that are taking over this town just gets worse and worse and worse, and the visual imagery accompanying this story just makes it even more intense and disturbingly unsettling. Those are the best words I can think to describe it, because honestly that is how it made me feel pretty much 80%, 90% of the time reading this. I'd highly recommend it if this is the kind of thing you're after. Just be prepared going in that you're gonna feel kind of weird. So I gave this, as I said, 4 out of 5 stars. I now need to pick my next read. These are the 2 books that I'm picking between, but this is going to be for another video that I'm working on, so I'm not going to talk too much about the one I pick in this vlog, but I'm leaning towards Red Dust, White Snow. The other option is Termush. They're both quite small, so either one I think I should be able to maybe get through today, hopefully. So I'm gonna maybe read the first few pages of each and then decide, but this is my potential reading plans for the rest of the day. Haven't listened to any more of my audiobook yet, but I might play some Fae Farm later and listen to a bit of that, possibly. So the book I ended up picking up for the rest of this vlog and have now finished is Red Dust, White Snow by Pan Hooting. This is a book that is set between dreams and reality and the question of a virtual world versus living in the real one. It's an interesting concept. I'm going to be giving my full thoughts on this in episode 9 of Cover to Cover, which is coming live very soon, but I did read this evening. I am still listening to the audiobook for The Woman in Black, but I finished all my physical reads, so it makes sense to close this vlog off so that tomorrow I can start my next vlog where I will be reading The Amityville Horror by Jay Anson. This is my mum's scariest book she's ever read. This is the book that made her go and knock on her parents' bedroom when she was reading it in the middle of the night as a teenager because it scared her so much. I have high hopes this will give me the fear. The first line, are you ready for the first line? It's actually the first 2 lines, I've lied to you. George and Kathy Lutz moved into 112 Ocean Avenue on December 18th. 28 days later, they fled in terror. That sounds so good to me. I'm so excited for this. So if you want to see me reading this book and a couple of others, I'm going to be doing a vlog next week searching for a book to give me the fear, and this is one of the ones I'm going to be reading. So hit the subscribe and the bell button to be notified when that video goes live. I have so much autumnal spooky content planned at the moment. I'm just so excited for it all. Don't forget I am doing a readathon at the end of the month with my patrons, which is available to all tiers of my patrons. So from £1 upwards you can join, and it's a 7-day spookathon readathon that runs just before Halloween and ends on Halloween itself. There's going to be 6 days of live shows across those 7 days. Lots of reading, lots of books. There's no rules, so if you want to take part and not read a spooky book, that's absolutely fine, but that is all linked down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I've had great fun filming this and I'm really pleased with how it's turned out, so I really hope that you've enjoyed watching it. Thank you so much as always to my patrons for your support. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. I will see you in the next one.